is the way. This is the way.
All right, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Good evening to everybody out there. I've got my blue milk. What are we doing today? We're talking about Return of the Jedi, the 40th anniversary. Got to see it in theaters with the kiddos over here. We had an absolute blast, so just wanted to come on here. Welcome, everybody. If it's your first time joining us, this is Fatherly Phantom. My name is Chris, and we have these little things here, and it used to be called Hey Mando when The Mandalorian was on. Now it's going to be called Hey Fandos, because all my fans out there on Fatherly Phantom are called Fandos. And so we just like to chat, and you guys get to contribute and give me your thoughts and what you think about Star Wars and all the fun things that we're watching. So let's get into it. And as Not Your Status Quo is here, and they say, let's go, let's definitely go for it. And let's get started. We were really antsy to get us started here tonight, guys. So this is a lot of fun. So good evening, Keith. Great you're here. Absolutely. I'll take my first drink. I hope you drink out there as well. And we'll just get started on this. I gotta say, it was fantastic, guys, to get to finally see Return of the Jedi once again on the big screen. Now, I don't know about you guys the last time you saw it, but the last time it was in theaters for me was during the time of the special editions. And I was just a little kid back then, and of course the movie was made in 1983, and I was not born yet. I was born the next year, so unfortunately I didn't get to see any of the movies, the original trilogy, in the theaters. Did get to see the prequels though, but I did get to see it when the special editions came out. Got to see all three of those movies in theater. I just remember it was awesome, man. I was living in Florida at the time, like my family's from there, and we went with my Uncle Jeff and my dad, and we all watched it. We all loved it. I remember halfway through the movie, it cut out, the movie did, and they were having projector problems at the time, so we had to sit there for a long time. Right during the battle on Endor at the end, it was just, I was on pins and needles waiting for that time. Doug, great that you're here. I wish I could have seen it at the theater. Oh, Doug, you didn't get to go? I feel so bad for you, brother, because it was awesome. It was so cool. And, you know, I have been waiting. It's been so long since I've been in a theater just excited about Star Wars and being surrounded by people that were also surrounded by Star Wars. You could feel the energy in the room. Like, it was so cool. It brought back memories of midnight showings for the prequels whenever I went to those. And it was just fun. All around, just a blast having to do that. And did you get to share that with my kids, too? Now, Olivia did fall asleep halfway through, but JJ, he was all about it. He really enjoyed it. JJ, come over here, man. I want to get your opinion, because this was his first time seeing it in theater. JJ is my son, if you guys didn't know. I named him after my Uncle Jeff, his namesake. So it was cool. I got to watch Return of the Jedi with both of them. Hey, brother. Come on here. Come on in over here. So let me know. He's kind of doing the Daredevil thing. I don't know if you guys know this, but so what did you think? I really want to get your opinion about Return of the Jedi. You remember us watching that in the theater?
Yeah.
Yeah? Was it a lot of fun?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. What did you think of the movie?
I liked it.
You liked it? What did you like most about it? What was your favorite part?
Most?
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Hard to say. Did you like the Ewoks?
Yeah.
Yeah? They were pretty cool, huh? Yeah.
Come here, Bonnie.
All right.
Bonnie.
And if you were to rate this movie, what would you rate it?
1 quadrillion out of 1.
1 quadrillion out of 1?
Yes.
I'm not sure that meets the Doug scale as it goes. Out of 10, what would you rate it?
Out of 10, 1 quadrillion.
Well, that's above. That's above 10.
10.
10 out of 10. All right. We got 10 out of 10 for the boy here.
Moo.
So, Doug says the first Star Wars I saw at the theater was Revenge of the Sith. Awesome, man. That's the only one I didn't get to see the midnight showing of. Well, actually, no, I did get to see that.
I love you, Dad.
Yeah, I love you too, brother. This is Fatherly Phantom right here, so, we're always being a dad. And so, yeah, I actually did. Yeah, I did get to see it. I remember I was out on deployment afterwards, so like I got to see the midnight showing for that, and then I went on deployment. And the nice thing too is they showed Revenge of the Sith on deployment for all the people that hadn't seen it. So I have a lot of memories of watching it too. On board the USS Enterprise was the ship I was on. The rest on VHS. Yeah, I rocked the VHS. I remember when the Phantom Menace came out, and then when it came out on VHS, I was so excited before the days of DVD. Gosh, I feel old. Oh, my goodness. But I was so excited to get that VHS tape, and I played the crap out of it back in the day. Keith says, I saw A New Hope when it came out. I'm old. Oh, man. I can't imagine, Keith. I wish there was a way that I could have been there at the very start of this, 1977, in a world that didn't know Star Wars, and to experience that for the first time on the big screen. That is a gift, Keith, and I am so happy that you got to do that. And I wish I was there with you, brother, because that is special right there for you guys. And Keith's been a fan ever since, our super fan right there, Mr. Top Mando. And he was a fan ever since of Star Wars. I don't blame you. I would have been too back then. And if you guys didn't know, I'm wearing my hoodie. It's almost getting a little too warm to wear a hoodie, so I'm going to have to get another shirt. But this is Not Your Status Quo. If you guys have not checked them out, go check them out. They're awesome. They got great reviews. They just did a review on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I have it posted on my Facebook page as well. You can check them out on YouTube as well. They're in my section on the bottom of my channel. You can find the link to their channel. Give them a like, share their stuff, contribute to all their Twitch stuff. It's really cool. Do all the things that we do around here, guys. That would be a lot of fun. All right. I actually didn't get to watch the Guardians of the Galaxy video yet because I haven't seen it yet. I have been waiting. I promised the kids I would wait for them. So Saturday, we're going. And you know the very first thing I'm going to do after I get out of the movie theater, I'm going to pop on Not Your Status Quo's review of Guardians of the Galaxy, and I am going to watch that thing right after. So, and I think you should too after you watch the movie. So there you go. Yes. So, Return of the Jedi, it was just so cool to get to see it on the screen again. And I kind of wanted to talk to you guys. I had this debate with my best friend about Anakin Skywalker. So this is kind of one of the subjects I wanted to talk to you guys about. And it's very interesting, too, because some people really miss having Sebastian Shaw as the Force Ghost in the end. And a lot of people like that Hayden Christensen is at the end, and vice versa. Some people really hate that it's Hayden Christensen right at the end. And, I've done some research on it, and George Lucas has his reasons why he decided to put Anakin in there. And this is the official reason for why he decided to change that up for the Force Ghost for Anakin right at the end. So his idea was that Anakin Skywalker died, and we kind of got to see that a little bit more in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, right? Because he talks about how, when he gets his part of his face shield, his mask for Vader, gets cut off and everything. And he's talking to Obi-Wan. He's like, you didn't kill me. I killed me. When he turned to the dark side, he was essentially killing that light side of him. I always believe that there was still a little piece of him in there, and the movies actually show that, and this one definitely does. But that little piece is what that Anakin used to be. And the Force Ghost at the end is everything Anakin was supposed to be without the influence of the dark side and everything. And so we got into a nice little discussion about that. He really doesn't like Anakin Skywalker. He's not a fan of Hayden Christensen. But I really do like it. I think that it flows together, and it links the prequels as well as the original trilogy together. I didn't mind it. The only thing I do mind about that scene is Hayden Christensen actually gives a kind of creepy look. It's like the look that he gives. I don't know why they decided that's good. Cut. Perfect. I wish he would have been a little bit more joyful and everything, but that's okay. And the reason why Yoda and Obi-Wan were still old is because they never turned to the dark side. They were a part of the light side the entire time. So they would be old. When they died, they were still a part of the light side. And that's what their Force Ghost looks like. Not Your Status Quo says, you are too kind, sir. Thank you. No, you guys are amazing, and I'm here to support you guys as much as possible. Lift us all up, man. high tide raises all boats, right? Doug, he's got a nice little comment here. Doug says, I've read the reasons, and honestly, I kind of agree with putting Hayden in there. Sebastian Shaw being there in Jedi robes doesn't make much sense since he never appeared like that. I agree, and honestly, George Lucas has said that his intent after he completed the prequels was for people to actually watch 1 through 6 in a row like that. So when you see Anakin Skywalker at the end, you know exactly who that is. You know that that's that character, and he's finally been able to atone for all the tragedy that he's been put in. Keith says it was a shame for all the bad things he did. Yeah, absolutely. And Doug says, at best, if you're going to have Sebastian Shaw, I would guess he would be bald and legless. Wouldn't that be fun, seeing like a bald and legless Sebastian Shaw just like floating around there at the end? Woo! I don't know if that would be a little too distracting for me watching that. I don't know. And my buddy, Matt, he is watching the Clone Wars. Finally, we got him to watch Clone Wars, and he's watching it with his kids. I think he's on season 3. And he was talking to me about how, like, his kids can't really get into Anakin Skywalker, and he's doing all these things that are against the Jedi code and just being careless and reckless. And, I kind of thought about that, and we had more of a discussion about that, and it was really fascinating to me. And I was thinking about it more. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what Anakin would be like, and that's why he's like that. And we're not supposed to be looking up to this character. This is a flawed character. This is a tragic character that we're supposed to take life lessons from. And honestly, we see him in Phantom Menace, and he's a little boy, and he's got a lot of hope and a lot of spirit. But that little boy gets corrupted right away by Palpatine. We're going to watch your career with great interest. I don't know if you guys remember that from the Phantom Menace, but from the get-go, Palpatine has been a major influence in Anakin Skywalker's upbringing. He was a mentor to him. So he had these conflicting ideas in his mind for the Jedis and what Obi-Wan was teaching him to what Palpatine was teaching him and corrupting him. So you had both light and dark elements to this character from the very start of these movies as well. And so this is not a character that you were supposed to look up to or draw inspiration from. This is a character that we are definitely supposed to learn from, that made mistakes, very tragic. We're not supposed to be like, oh, he's the best character. We're supposed to feel sorry for this character. And ultimately, the whole story of Return of the Jedi here is about a son redeeming a father, and that father saving the galaxy, destroying Palpatine at the end. Perfect ending to the series. Palpatine never returns, right, guys? And it's done. We never hear from him again, right? So that's at least how it is in my mind. It was a perfect ending to that story. So let's see here. Doug says, I was late to the Clone Wars as well. Keith and Dave from Not Your Status Quo got me into it around 2019. Better late than never, right, Doug? So you're on there. And I appreciate you watching that too. It's definitely some of the best Star Wars content out there. Definitely some of the best cartoon Star Wars too. And he never returns. Yes, Palpatine, good guy Palps never returns. We have a little memorial for good guy Palps trying to bring safety and security to the galaxy as much as he can. He tried his best, but he really wanted that father and son to bond, so he allowed himself to be thrown down that pit and not get in the way of a good family. So the story is all about family, and that's what I absolutely love about Return of the Jedi. I remember too, growing up, before the special editions, we had a VHS tape that was recorded from live television. So they broadcast it, we recorded it, had commercials in it and everything. I think we were missing like the first 20 minutes of Return of the Jedi. So in my mind, I still remember the movie cutting into the end of the Sarlacc pit and forward. That was my Return of the Jedi growing up, and I would watch that all the time. It was in heavy rotation. And let's see here, Keith. You could say the good guy Palp saved the galaxy. Oh yeah, he really did by sacrificing himself and letting Vader be redeemed. So good guy Palps once again, just misunderstood, right? Right, Grogu? Right, Din Grogu? Sorry. You got a new name, or didn't you? So there we go. That golf guy, welcome back. What's up, bro? How's it going? Great to have you on the feed here. We're talking about Return of the Jedi, which was originally called. What do you guys remember? You guys remember this? I actually had a poster. Not me. One of my friends had a poster, and of Revenge of the Jedi, because they were all getting ready to call it that in production phase. So basically, what happened with the title is George Lucas originally intended for it to be Return of the Jedi. But then he talked to Lawrence Kasdan, who collaborated in writing the script for Return of the Jedi, and he thought that was a very weak title. He was like, George, that's a weak title. We got to change it. And so George relented, and George gets a lot of slack. George Lucas gets a lot of slack for always wanting things to be a particular way. But at that point, he was willing to change the name of his movie, and he did. He changed it to Revenge of the Jedi. So a couple days later, they changed it to Revenge of the Jedi. They started producing, posters and getting ready for in post-production. And then right before, George decided to revert back to Return of the Jedi, because he was like, it's not the Jedi way to seek revenge. And so he thought that goes against what the Jedi actually stand for. And I absolutely, he was correct in that. I'm getting some weird stuff going on with, my little thing is falling down here. There we go. How's that? Is that better? Always a struggle with the backdrop here, guys. Bear with me. Bear with me on here. All right, that golf guy, what do you say? Sorry, it's off topic. Oh, Revenge of the Jedi. No, definitely not off topic. But revenge is not the Jedi way. Yes! Yes, Keith, just like I was saying. And so George Lucas went back to his original idea and called it Return of the Jedi. I'm so glad that he did. And this movie went through several iterations and everything else. And originally during the time of Empire Strikes Back, I don't know if you guys know this, but when Yoda, the other guy from your species there, Son Grogu, not Son Grogu, Din Grogu, I want to say Son Grogu, but the original intent of him saying there's another out there, what they were planning on doing was having Luke actually go to the outer regions and try to find his sibling, which was not originally supposed to be Leia at that point. And eventually, they were planning on having Boba Fett as the main bad guy for episode 6, and then they were going to go into episode 7, 8, and 9 at that point, and they were going to explore taking down Palpatine. Palpatine wasn't supposed to be taken down in Return of the Jedi originally. When they were still working on Empire Strikes Back, that's what they were originally trying to intend. Let's see here, Keith. Dog's freaking out. Whoa! It was the right decision to change the title to Return. Absolutely agree with you on that. I'm drinking, guys. I'm drinking. Don't worry. So I do have my blue milk here, Doug. It's my power blue milk because it's got protein in it and everything. So I hope I'm making you proud. Drink! Absolutely. I'll drink again. But yes, this movie went through several iterations, and originally, instead of Ewoks, they were going to use Wookiees. And it was going to be the planet Kashyyyk. And originally, too, it was supposed to take place on, I forget the name of the planet, but it was supposed to be what Coruscant is equivalent to. The city planet was where the Death Star, actually 2 Death Stars. They were going to have 2 Death Stars in construction in this movie. And then there was a forest moon off of Coruscant, and it was called something else. The planet was called something else at the time, that Leia was actually going to go to at the beginning, and she was going to have a strike team on her own. So she didn't go to Tatooine at all. So we wouldn't have gotten the Slave Leia thing or any of that stuff in the first script. I actually think that would have been a better situation, is to see Leia taking charge and taking lead in the rebellion and taking on that mission, and then Han and Luke feel that she needs help, so they come after her, and that leads them all to that end scene. I thought that would have been great, but that's not what we got. Looks delicious. Yes, it is especially delicious. So if you guys don't know, got some blue spirulina in here. Doug got me on this. He drinks the blue milk. Though we did get it. He went to rehab for his blue milk obsession, but hopefully you got it in check. Everything in moderation, right? So we're doing good with our blue milk. But it's good stuff, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks for recommending the Blue Spirulina, buddy. And if you guys haven't seen it, me and Doug did a collab a little while ago about the Darksaber, so you can check out the first part of that on Not Your Status Quo, and the second part on my channel, so it's all up there, and it's awesome. Doug says, let's see, I was just comparing the Jabba's Palace scene between the original release and the current version. I can't decide which Max Rebo song I like better. Yeah, the new one's kind of interesting, and yeah, the old one is kind of interesting too. And over the years, like when the special edition came out with the new song in there with the Max Rebo band, I love Max Rebo, by the way. That was one of my favorite things about Book of Boba Fett, is knowing that Max Rebo survived that explosion. You know, I don't know how he did it, but he did. I'm glad he did. Maybe he survived the explosion in Book of Boba Fett too. We can only hope. Prayers for Max Rebo out there. But I remember seeing that that song in the special editions for the first time, and I was just like, honestly, I was taken aback. Even as a kid, I was like, I don't know if I like this. But over the years, I can't get enough of it. And it came up on the screen in the theater, and we were just having a blast with that. So I really liked it. What was interesting too is like when you see this moving on a big screen, you see like the practical effects and the way that they designed a lot of these effects, and you see some of the imperfections when it comes to that. And for me, that doesn't even matter. I think it still looks gorgeous. The only problem I have with Return of the Jedi, and I don't know if anybody else has this problem, I've always had this problem. Let me know, guys, in the comments. But it always bothered me that they didn't have a built Millennium Falcon on set. What they did is they had a matte painting when Lando and Han are in the hangar bay, and he tells him to take the ship. I mean it, take her. She's the fastest ship we got. She's the fastest ship in the fleet. And Lando begrudgingly takes her. I know how much she means to you. I'll take good care of her. Not a scratch. So, I'm not gonna recite the entire movie to you guys. I could probably. We could do that on here, but no, I'm not gonna. Big dork right here. Anyways, that scene always bothered me because it was clearly a matte painting. Whoever worked on it did an excellent job, but we saw the real Millennium Falcon in Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope, and it really hurt me that we didn't get to see it in Return of the Jedi. And when Lando turns around, when Han gets on the ship on the Imperial shuttle, and Lando turns around and walks towards that matte painting, it just turns black. It gives him a silhouette of black, and it always has bothered me. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about that, but that's just one thing I would have changed for like the special edition. I would try to have included a real, thing in there. Hey, Donna Lander is on here. She says, "Hey Chris, Landon was my username in Meditech." Landon? Who? What? I don't know who. Oh, okay. I gotcha. So if you guys don't know, this is actually my mom. So hi, Mom. I love you. Thanks for joining. Great to have you here on the chat. We're talking about Return of the Jedi. You remember that? And everything from back in the day. We very much love it. So everybody say hi to my mom if you can. No, Lando. Never really bothered me too much. Okay, Keith. Yeah. Must have just been me about the thing. Oh, Lando was Mom's username in Meditech. We have this software. I'm also a medical laboratory science, like my mom, and we use LIS systems for entering in our results and things like that. And we have usernames and stuff. I have to change mine all the time, but my mom's was Lando. So if you guys ever wondered why I am the way I am, thanks, Mom. Keith says hi, Chris's mom. Doug says hi, Mom. So yeah, so good to have you here, Mom. I appreciate you being here. JJ was actually on a little bit earlier, and he got to tell us about his reactions to Return of the Jedi, and he really liked it. 10 out of 10 for him on the Doug scale. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 as well for me. But another interesting fact, so let's go into some of the more interesting facts here. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, after we're done talking about Return of the Jedi, we're going to have an unboxing of this bad boy right here. The Luke Skywalker and Grogu premiere statue. Once again, it's a Gentle Giant limited release. So I got that to unbox for us here at the end. I've had this for quite a while, and I've been just chomping at the bits to open it up. But I was waiting to do a live stream with you guys. I wasn't able to come on last week because me and my kids went to the movies on Wednesday. So, I'm a dad, so I got to do fun stuff with the kids from time to time, And Donna, my mom, says, "Hey, y'all!" So she's over there in North Carolina. I'm over in Idaho, and my buds are over in Michigan from Not Your Status Quo, right? You guys are over in Michigan, right? I believe so. But another interesting thing about Return of the Jedi, if we get back to that, is originally they were not going to have Yoda in it. And then once again, Lucas had to be convinced that we needed to see Yoda and kind of explain. And the reason why we wanted Yoda in the movie was to kind of explain that Darth Vader wasn't lying to Luke about him being his father. It was confirmation. They figured the kids would need that sort of confirmation of Return of the Jedi to believe what Vader was actually saying. And the cool thing about the working script is Vader was actually doing some Force streams with Luke about coming and helping him out, and he very much wanted Luke to join him so that they can take down the Emperor. And he meets the Emperor on this and he has a throne room that's in the lava and everything, kind of what they did with Mustafar in the beginning. So this was Palpatine's throne room, surrounded by lava and everything. And at this point, the Emperor really didn't trust Darth Vader and kind of tried to put him on the sidelines. And so it was very interesting, like the different things that they started with. That is correct, sir. And let's see, is there any other major thing that they really changed? Oh, the other really cool thing. At the end, some of the writers, not George, but some of the writers wanted Luke Skywalker. There's more. And, oh, yes, that my Michigan buddies over there, Not Your Status Quo. They're awesome. Apparently, like, everybody that I've met that lives in Michigan is freaking awesome. You guys are awesome, and I just really like you guys. I really gel. You guys are my tribe. I like you guys a lot. But the other thing is they wanted Luke Skywalker at the end of this movie. This was an idea that was fronted to take Vader's mask and put it on, and he would say, "Now I'm Vader." And I was like, I am so glad that they decided not to do that. Another fun thing that they were planning on doing, and I wonder if they'll kind of explore this in the future, they could really work on this idea as well, is the idea of the Force Ghosts. And originally, in the original script, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda were actually supposed to return from the netherworld as Force Ghosts and become actual live sentient beings once again, not just in their corporeal form. So they were eventually supposed to come back from the dead and be a part of the celebration at the end. And they were going to also bring back Anakin Skywalker in that way as well. So he wouldn't have been a Force Ghost. He would just be alive again. Again, kind of glad that they didn't do that with this, because I feel like, death needs to be sort of a final thing. There needs to be some finality there. Like, you take away the weight of a story if your characters can just come back. I say this, and, I am a huge fan of Dragon Ball, and they wish back their characters all the time, and I have no problem with that. But for Star Wars, I'm glad that they don't go that direction. I'm glad that they didn't take it in that direction in the movies. But it would be very interesting to see. And there are a lot of talks about them bringing back Kylo Ren. And he just did disappear at the end of Rise of Skywalker, and I wonder if they'll attempt to do something like that with his character later on down the road. Who knows? I don't know what they're planning with that, but yeah, those are some of the things that I found about Return of the Jedi. If you guys have any other fun little tidbits or facts, please share them right now, because it would be a lot of fun to hear your thoughts on that. So let's see. Okay, we got Doug. Let's see what you got here. I've been really enjoying the current run of the Darth Vader comic that takes place between Empire and Return of the Jedi. Very cool dive into Vader's character. I haven't read it. I would really like to get into it. Doug, I heard that Vader actually got to go to Exegol, and he saw those the Star Destroyers and everything. Is that true? Did Vader actually get to see Exegol? And if they did, why didn't he tell Luke about them? Keith, he said, I hope they don't bring Kylo back. Me too. I want them to move forward. I want them to move on from what we got. So let's see here. Doug says, You can see the seeds of change that Luke eventually uses in the Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Oh, that would be. I really do want to see that. And for me, the thing that I like the most about the comics, the ones that I read the Obi-Wan Kenobi series in the comics, and I was really hoping they were going to do this for the show, and it didn't end up happening. And it would have brought together the Mandoverse and Obi-Wan Kenobi as well. Is in the comics, they actually had Luke reading Obi-Wan Kenobi's journal and everything, and he actually went back to his home on Tatooine as well. That's where he learned how to do the lightsaber and whatnot, and he learned about Obi-Wan Kenobi's life, and it was his next set of his training was in that. And I really wanted them to use that. Since they did such a good job with Luke Skywalker in Book of Boba Fett, I was hoping they were going to have like Obi-Wan start with Luke Skywalker reading his journal, and that's how we dived into that. And I really wanted to see, Obi-Wan show like Qui-Gon's kyber crystal, because like it still hasn't been explained where Luke Skywalker got his green kyber crystal, and I really hope that they tie in Qui-Gon Jinn with that. I hope it's Qui-Gon Jinn's kyber crystal. I hope that's something they explore either in the comics or not, because that would be very poetic if Luke Skywalker was using it. The guy who found Anakin Skywalker and believed in him and could have saved him in the beginning of these movies actually had an influence on Luke Skywalker. That would be great. Not Just Status Quo says, those comics are so good, and yes, Vader did see Exegol. Wow. So Doug says, yes, he does. And pre-Snokes. Wow. Vader, why are you keeping a tight lip here? Why, especially as a Force ghost, you think he'd be like, oh, son, I got to tell you a few things. You think this is over, but go to Exegol. There's some stuff you got to finish at that point. Donna says, I don't remember, was Yoda in the original Star Wars movie? Yoda was not in A New Hope. He was first. I don't know, see if you can hear that. Din Grogu was talking about this. No, he was first introduced into Empire Strikes Back. They designed his character for that. They needed to fill that space of mentor for Luke Skywalker because they had killed off Obi-Wan Kenobi originally in A New Hope. Obi-Wan Kenobi was not supposed to die, and he was actually only supposed to talk to him via comms on, as he flew in on the X-Wing, as Luke flew in on the X-Wing to tell him to trust in the Force. But they thought they needed an impact. They thought they needed a death, so they decided to kill off Obi-Wan. But since they did that, they needed somebody else to step in to train Luke in the Force. And so that's where they created Yoda in the original Empire Strikes Back. Let's see here. We got Doug. It's implied that good guy Palps is using Luke's hand in the cloning experiments. Can we get a little bit more clarification on that kind of stuff? Like, I want them to tie these things together, either in the Bad Batch or these shows that we're getting. They need to show this live action in some spot. It would be really cool to see. But thank you, Doug. It's really cool to get that inside information on the comics as well. I do have to read those. I have to get money though. I'm kind of broke right now. I gotta. And I'm on a little bit of a budget right now, single dad and whatnot, so I gotta make the best I can with what I got, unfortunately, so I can't get as many comics or things like that. But yeah, it's really interesting. In that time frame between Empire and Jedi, a lot has to happen, and we see Luke, at the beginning of Return of the Jedi, he's now very confident in his abilities. He's a gunslinger at this point. And this is the version of Luke that I love the most. We see this progression of Luke throughout the trilogy, going from a whiny farm boy to a brash and young buck who wants to take on the Empire and everything in Empire Strikes Back, to a very confident, cool, collected, almost Jedi in Return of the Jedi. So I very much like that. I very much like that he's decked out in black. And the reason why they decided to make his costume black is because, of these the sheriffs in these spaghetti westerns and everything usually wore black as well. So they were the gunslingers and everything. So they wanted to give him that feel in Return of the Jedi, and I think they did a fantastic job. I'm glad they continued that on in The Mandalorian Season 2 as well as Book of Boba Fett. That's my favorite costume for Luke. I love him in black. I like black, so I don't know. It's just a really good look for Luke Skywalker. That said, why don't we move over into the unboxing portion? So if you guys have more things to say, I'll post those up, but we'll get to the unboxing here. I very much enjoyed Return of the Jedi, as always. I've seen it about 1,000 times now, but seeing it on the big screen was awesome. And if you hadn't had a chance to see it, I'm sorry, but if you did get a chance to see it in theaters, what a special experience. What a blast to have with other fans of Star Wars. I want more of that, and I can't wait. Whatever the next Star Wars thing is we get to see in theaters, I hope we get that energy again. I hope we get to come together as a fan base and not be toxic and then just enjoy this stuff, right? So let's go ahead and get this unboxed here. Luke Skywalker and Din Grogu. So, and I also got Grogu's on a lot of my stuff here. So I got him the Din Djarin. This is the gentle giant Din Djarin. And as you guys saw the last time, I unboxed the Ahsoka figure as well. So this is perfect for me to unbox Luke when I'm talking about Return of the Jedi. So I talked about the trailer for Ahsoka the last time. I still got Ahsoka right here. That's the gentle giant version of that. So now we got the gentle giant version of Luke. Some of my favorite characters right here. If you guys know me, I've talked about how Luke Skywalker is my favorite character from the original trilogy, and that Mandalorian is one of my favorite characters, as well as Ahsoka. Ahsoka's my favorite from the Clone Wars. Mandalorian's obviously from Mandalorian time. Okay, so I got my official thing here, the certification of authenticity. So this is a limited edition. This is farther back than my other two. So this is number 2,559 of 3,000. They only make 3,000 of these, and then they're done. So I just got it at the right time. Everybody wants Luke! So we're going to open it up as well. It's properly packed. I love how they pack these. It's so clean in these. And the box is amazing, too. I love these boxes, and I still keep my boxes. I talked about that last time, too. So I got a lot of boxes. So let's open up this bad boy. And once again, they also put that it's 2,559 of 3,000. So on there too, and it's actually on the base of the bottom of these things as well too. So let's open her up. Oh, let's see here. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, we got some more comments. Sorry guys, I missed these comments, so I'll put these on up here. Keith says, agreed, have seen it so many times, but seeing it up on the big screen again was special. I'm so glad, Keith, that you got to go see it with your son Sully. I hope he had a blast as well. Oh, yes, and Sully got to see it on the big screen, so that was awesome. It's so awesome to get to watch these things with your kids and to share that experience that you had when you were younger with them. It's amazing. It's the best time ever. And, like, I love being a father. Like, that is my purpose in life. It is always something I wanted to be as a kid, was a dad. And getting to share all the nerdy stuff with them is just a dream come true. I love it. I'm like, in this time in their lives is so important to be there for them and to be around and to share this stuff with and just to have fun. So if you're out there and you have kids, live your life to the fullest, man. Like have some fun. Don't take things too seriously. Stuff will come and go, but just enjoy every day that you get with your kids, because it doesn't last and it goes by in a freaking flash. Oh my gosh. All right, so Doug says, my favorite scene is towards the end when Vader threatens to turn Leia to the dark side and Luke loses his shit. Yes, he really does. And that's very, and this is the idea of attachments and everything. And what I want them to explore in the future when it comes to Jedi that are more balanced in the Force and whatnot. I believe that, Luke Skywalker, if you think about it, he saved his father because he loved his father. He believed in his father. He saw the good in him. And so he did have an attachment. And for the Jedi, attachments are supposed to be forbidden. They're not supposed to have those attachments. And he is attached to his friends and his sister. And he has real love there. And he has passion for those people. That's not necessarily a bad thing. And I think that in the future, with a Jedi Order from the future, maybe they'll explore this. They should understand that you can have those attachments, but you shouldn't be obsessed with those attachments. The idea shouldn't be that you have attachments. The idea should be that you shouldn't be afraid of letting go and being at peace with things that leave in your life. And I think that is very a Buddhist thing. And George Lucas has talked about this. He's called himself a Buddhist Methodist, is the type of person that he is. And he develops that philosophy in the Force and the religions that he explores in Star Wars. And I think that's a great philosophy for life, too. A lot of things come into your life, a lot of things go. And if we focus on the things that go and we let those drive our lives, we'll end up hurting ourselves in the long run. That's how the dark side works as well, is not being you wanting to control everything that you really can't control. That's what the dark side is all about. That's what the Sith want to do. They want to control things and be in power. The Jedi want to be selfless and not, they're not obsessed with self. They're selfless, not selfish. So a lot of fun stuff that we get to explore in Star Wars. All right, trying to open up this box here. And yeah. So let's go here. Okay. I finally got it open, guys. And so we got the base here. I'm going to pull him and pull out good old Luke. And this is the Luke from The Mandalorian Season 2 finale. As well, Chapter 16, which I cover on my channel. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and go to my channel. You can check that out. I did Mandalorian Revisited to prepare for Season 3. And, yeah, let's put him down. Let's get the base opened up. I do very much like the base. The base is really cool. Kind of a simple, nice little base. They have very solid, too. I like the Gentle Giant has very solid. It's not plastic or anything. This is some sturdy material right here. And once again, it's got your number on there, which is handwritten in on there. I love that. I love the attention to detail. And they hand paint every one of their figures with this too, which is very cool. So we'll get to explore that in just a second here. So I'm opening up Luke Skywalker as he is, and we'll go into detail on him and what I see. Get out of there! Oh my goodness, this is so cool, guys. So cool. Oh man. Okay, so let's take a look at this guy and the detail on this. And oh man, just the smallest details that you see on Grogu as well, like even the nostrils, some of the wrinkles as well. They did a really good job with Luke. The painting of his eyes, and they kind of have a sparkle. You can't really see that in here. Looking at the back and everything, there's no off painting or anything like that. And if you see the attention to detail, look at the coloring of the hair and everything, and the collar as well, and just the weathering and the different layers on the robe as well, and the shininess. Like, look at the boots. The boots are, man, those are so cool. And look, like his lightsaber here, it's got all the very intricate details. It's so hard. I'm trying to focus in here for you guys. Just the weathering on this, it looks metallic as well. The lightsaber does, as well as his belt buckle. That, man, that is such a good statue. And again, like, this is the Luke Skywalker that I love. This is the guy. Like, this is what I imagine seeing in the sequel trilogy. This is what I always wanted to see, and I'm glad that we got that in The Mandalorian. Man, just the detail on Grogu's fingers as well, to the nails, which are colored in perfectly as well. His glove, which is nice and shiny. This is such a cool figure. These figures are really cool. I am so glad I got this. This Luke. So here it is. I'll post him. Look at that side shot. That looks like Mark Hamill right there. You didn't know I was gonna sing the Force theme to you tonight, but I am. And I've seen some Luke Skywalker statues where he doesn't look quite right, and Mark Hamill doesn't look like Mark Hamill. This one does a pretty good job. I would say it's not perfect when it comes to an exact likeness of Mark Hamill, but it's pretty damn close. For sure. It's one of the better ones, and I very much like that. And it's really hard to find a good Luke Skywalker statue. Let's see here. His hair looks like sand. Oh, I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere. Absolutely. Sorry, I did get a drink. Does it look like sand? It's crazy. Yeah. And you notice too, like Mark Hamill's hair got kind of darker throughout the series, which makes sense if you're on a sun planet. Your hair's going to be bleached out all the time if you get away from that planet. And that's all right. Oh, yeah, Doug, you said it too. Good job. Dude, awesome. It's a great minds think alike. His hair looks like sand. It's coarse, it's rough, it's irritating. It probably gets everywhere too. Love it. That is a fine looking statue. It definitely is. This is one of the better ones. Cheers. Cheers, fellas. Absolutely. So there we go. There is my Luke Skywalker statue. I got to find a good spot for him now. I'm getting my work area is getting a little bit crowded. So let's put him on his stand. So this is the stand. This is him all together on here with Din Grogu. Ooh, I got a good spot for this. I'll just move my coffee. So now I've got Luke Skywalker, I've got Ahsoka, and I've got Mandalorian. All my favorites. All my favorites around me. Perfect. That is a nice little statue. All right. So that brings us to, I think, the end of this this live stream, guys. It's been a lot of fun. If you guys got anything else to say, I just really enjoyed this. Next week, I'm planning on, let's see here. Yeah, next week, I actually have a concert to attend. So I won't be able to do a live stream. My daughter's playing cello, so there won't be a live stream on Wednesday. But for the next live stream that I do, I'll let you guys know when that's going to happen. I'm going to be going over Season 2 of Vision because we watched it all, and I want to go over it in depth with you guys. So there'll be plenty of time for you guys to catch it up. So it'll be in a couple of weeks from now. So it'll be a lot of fun. All right, let's see. Just ordered a Fatherly Phantom t-shirt. Since it is finally getting too warm for a hoodie, yeah, Not Your Status Quo, I'm going to order another t-shirt. I'm going to order my t-shirt for Not Your Status Quo and Attack on Show here on Friday. So I love supporting you guys. I think you guys are awesome. And I just can't wait to see all your success on YouTube. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm just enjoying the ride. So, yeah. Thank you, Keith. You're awesome, man. Donna says, I like that statue. Thanks, Mom. I like that statue too. I'm a big dork. What can I say? But yeah, this weekend I'll be watching Guardians of the Galaxy. I might post up my thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy for you guys, if you'd like that. So I did promise that I was going to be doing the history of the Sith. Sorry, things have been really busy for me. It's and stressful, and there's been some not so fun times here for me. But I'm still working on it. It's coming. Don't worry, I will get it out as soon as I can. So I'm sorry I haven't gotten it out yet, but it is coming. It's down the pipeline. We think you're awesome too. Thank you, Not Your Status Quo. I think you guys are as equally as awesome, if not more. My inspiration, that's for sure. And you guys motivate me, keep me going, and I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. And just this is the friendship that you guys have given me. I really do appreciate that. Where would I be without the brothers over there in Michigan? That's for sure. I definitely like you guys. And Keith says, well, I hope there'll be better times ahead for you, sir. Definitely are. I wake up every day and enjoy everything that I can, and there will be better days for sure. Sometimes you go through things and you get through them, and in the end they help you out. So I try to take as much life lessons as I can from failure and everything else. Failure is the greatest teacher, right? So here we go. Tom says, yes, I think you're awesome too. Thanks, Mom. My mom thinks I'm awesome. I think my mom's pretty awesome too, gotta say. And as a medical laboratory scientist, like both of us are saving lives behind the scenes. We save more lives than Batman. So there you go. Good people right there. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys have a fantastic night, and thank you so much for joining me on here. It's a blast to get to come on here and talk to you guys. Look at that. We got this in under an hour. So I hope you enjoy your weekend. Go check out Not Your Status Quo stuff. Go check out Attack on Show stuff, too. If you don't know about them, go to my channel. Go to the bottom. You can see Attack on Show. Robbie's an amazing guy too. He's got a lot of awesome content, a lot of great recommendations out there, and it's been awesome. Keith says, enjoy your daughter's concert next week. I am. I'm so excited to see her play her cello, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And there's so many fun things happening with her school at the end of this year, And it's just like this is it. This is like why I love being a dad. It's like I've always wanted to go to these things for my kids and be there to support them. And it's just like that's the best thing ever. I freaking love doing that for my kids. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me here on Fatherly Fandom. And let's get over to my branded stuffs here, shall. Let's go into a couple of the things. I didn't do my intro this time, but that's okay. Anyways, from our families to yours, guys. Oh, I got a couple more comments, though. Mama says, take a video. I will take a video and pictures. Lots of pictures. Cheers. Cheers, fellas. Thank you for joining me. And from our families to yours, have a good one. And you know what? May the Force be with you. And, of course, this is the way. So, have a good night, guys. So thanks for joining me today on Fatherly Fandom. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And from our families to yours, have a good one. And may the Force be with you.